Good right now, everybody. How are we all doing? We need a little bit of background before we can actually start talking about what I'm talking about. For a while now, there has just been a trend of companies changing their logo just to, like, I don't know, remove the whimsy because they hate you. That's not why. That's not why. But that's just what it feels like. Just like there have been rebrand after rebrand where they just take all the fun out of the business, like, over and over again. I have like a long list of items that we can go down, okay? Because it just happens all the time, and be it to be more marketable towards a wider range of audiences, to be more like hip and trendy and new, or to be more like internet friendly. All kinds of changes have been made. Here's the Burger King logo, all the whimsy and fun taken out of it. Here's the Pringles logo. It's still quite whimsy and fun, I'll be honest. Okay, the Pringles mascot is quite good, but he lost his goodness. He lost his color. Lots more whimsy and fun removed. Intel logo. I mean, this one's a lot weaker. There's not much here, but they removed the whimsy. They removed the wee. Okay, that's gone. Dunkin' logo. This is another one. This is a special case that also has happened a couple times. They rebranded from Dunkin' Donuts to just Dunkin'. Okay, just Dunkin'. I don't understand the reasoning behind doing something like that too, because I understand Dunkin' Donuts or Dunkin' is now, I know a lot of people who go there for coffee rather than donuts. Like, they're not going for donuts anymore. In fact, if I'm going to be honest, I hate Dunkin' Donuts. I think their donuts are so bad, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. They have rebranded to just Dunkin'. Another instance where they rebranded everything, including the name. HBO, well, not everything, but HBO Max turned to just Max. I don't understand the trend of removing the first part of the name and moving to just the second one. Like, Dunkin' is not Dunkin' Donuts. Max is not HBO Max. Those are completely separate companies. Those are completely separate names. You can't just change the name of a company. If I were to say, like, hey, I want to get Dunkin' Donuts, I would know I want to get Dunkin' Donuts. Like, I mean, not Dunkin' Donuts. I would know I want to get donuts. If I want to say I want to get Dunkin', I don't know now. And maybe this is a time thing. Of course, Dunkin' Donuts has been Dunkin' for a couple years now. HBO Max was Max for a little bit before they changed it back, which very often you don't see companies do this. Once they make the change, they kind of just stick there and stay the course for good, whether good or bad, whatever. And often in a lot of cases, if they do write it out after a long enough time, it will fix itself. Another one that has happened recently that just blew my mind to see, but I guess it was overdue, was the Mountain Dew logo. Once again, I don't know what marketing genius they had behind this, but they removed the gamer. They took the gamer out of the Mountain Dew. Those are the people who drank these. I mean, that's what they've been known for, is being the gamer drink. Now they've got this super soft, like hippie-esque drink, or at least that's what I'm gonna call it, like a soft nature drink, which is not what Mountain Dew will be. I will never know Mountain Dew as that kind of drink. My kids might, but it's gonna be a long time before they enter the fray. This is not the gamer drink logo, and unfortunately it will continue to be the gamer drink in my mind forever. That's the only Mountain Dew in that instance, and Taco Bell Baja Blast. That's it. That's all. Of course, Gamer Mountain Dew and Baja Blast Mountain Dew, those are separate things. Those are separate instances. Gamer Mountain Dew is for hardcore gamer time. Baja Blast is for enjoying Taco Bell. That is all. That is all. They are separate. And then, of course, another instance of removing whimsy from things in general is McDonald's as well. I'm sure y'all have seen this logo, or not this logo, but now we're on images of just facade and building design in general. But in this instance here, I mean, you can see absolutely insane change. Now, this is from like a special McDonald's to what now kind of just all the regular McDonald's look like. I have another example of a lot less of an extreme change as that one, which is kind of how all of the McDonald's go now. In fact, I have a personal experience of this one. There is a McDonald's back home where I live that I had gone to one or two times. Whenever it did have the animals on it. It didn't have like the whole bricky, blocky facade as this one did, but it did have like animals peeking over. I don't exactly remember where. I think it was over the red part of the top here. Anyways, it was fresh and it was fancy, and I loved going there as a kid. But now, since they've remodeled it and they've redone it, it had this giant super cool playscape in there. Okay, it had all that. It had the animals, it had the fun, it had the colors. The McDonald's to the building is still there. Of course, it's been remodeled to be the sad beige and gray and just drab dreary on the outside, as like all the other McDonald's have come to be. I don't know why they decided that was a good idea. I don't know why we've started doing that with our buildings now. I hate it. Especially, I'm going on a tangent here, like speaking as an architect who wants to spend time on my buildings. Oh, it's so frustrating that every single facade seems to just be like a flat panel with just another accent color here or here or here, and that's like everything. Like, look, you can see it in this building. It's a flat panel with the accent color here. That's it. And then like maybe a little bit of accent right there. That's it. I can guarantee you that the majority of things that are on this McDonald's are there as a code requirement. And there are so many times whenever I'm designing a building and the customer asks for it in a specific way that's just like so empty and barren, and the only excuse that I can really have to give them detail on the building is code reasons. I pray to God that it does not become a trend that cities begin lightening their code so that your buildings require less, because I can guarantee you the buildings will have less. Anyways, on to the story that I was talking about way long ago. This McDonald's that we go to used to have this nice, beautiful playscape, and as you can see, it had the fence here. They all have this fence around the playscape if it's on the outside. But the fence that McDonald's had was maybe twice as large as this one. It was big. The fence was tall. Whenever I went to that McDonald's, I had to look up like this to see the top of the fence, all right? And that's like as an adult. Or well, I'm speaking of when I went recently, but it's still the same fence. It's the same fence there. Now, this McDonald's does not have the beautiful playscape. It does not have the fun design on the outside or anything. Literally, it is so sad. You walk into the McDonald's and you have a choice to go sit outside and eat. What's outside? 2 tables that used to be there so you could watch the kids while they were in the playscape, and a sea of gravel. It is just a sea of tiny pebbles and giant fences. You're like in prison. I could not climb out of that fence if I wanted to. It's not just like, you know, a waist-high fence so that the children can't escape, right? No, it is way up there. I have to look up like this to see the top of the fence. I am in a prison yard. Anyways, that's the end of that tangent. Moving on to the actual story, Cracker Barrel has joined the fray, and they've now decided to change their logo, which has received a huge amount of backlash, probably the most amount of backlash I have seen from any logo change, period. And it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense why this would be Cracker Barrel, because Cracker Barrel itself, its image is the old, as you can see in the old logo here, old country store. Cracker Barrel has such far in its entirety just been an image of the past, of like the old, would I say United States, or even I feel like it's just like Western past, you know, especially in a location here like Texas. Cracker Barrel is a time capsule of the past. If you were to go, not that I've been in a very long time, but it is like then. And they wanted to do a whole new remodel to freshen Cracker Barrel up. As the CEO quoted, they want to be the Cracker Barrel of today and tomorrow.
Cracker Barrel needs to feel like the Cracker Barrel for today and for tomorrow.
The CEO of the company, appearing on GMA before the new logo was announced, talked about the restaurant's interior redesign.
The soul of Cracker Barrel is not changing. The rocking chairs are still there, the fireplace is there, the peg game, all the things that make Cracker Barrel Cracker Barrel.
Now, before we continue, we of course need to also talk about the other thing that's being changed, the remodeled interior. So I've got this video here of someone who had eaten at the Cracker Barrel interior. Of course, it's not like their video, but it's got the little guy talking over it, and he does have some things to say that I quite agree with.
Saw something on the internet. Dude said he ate in a remodeled Cracker Barrel and he hated it, and I want to join in on the hate. If the Cracker Barrel don't look like the Jim Crow South, I can't eat there. You gotta have the racism aesthetic. You gotta have the rocking chairs and the hint of segregation in the air. If I don't feel like I'm on the set of Sinners, then how do I know I'm in a Cracker Barrel? This is a gentrified Cracker Barrel. They done took all the character out of it, and I know the edges of the pancake ain't burnt. I gotta feel like somebody wants to say, "Good morning, boy," when I go in, with respect. And no respect at all. I feel like they want me to work there, but they don't want to pay me ever. And I've got to live there. That's Cracker Barrel's thing. If you take that away, what is it? A Denny's, a IHOP, a place I don't want to be at.
Okay, so now that we've seen the interior, we do need to take a minute to talk about what this man was saying. I completely agree. Cracker Barrel has been known to me and many others as like the restaurant that's full of racist old people. Like that is the image that it has. And as far as I know, those are the only people who eat there. I don't know anyone else who eats at Cracker Barrel except for all of the racist old people that I know. That is it. That is all I know who goes to eat there. And remodeling the Cracker Barrel to not match that aesthetic, I feel like it's just a huge throw because that is your clientele. And of course also the clientele that I'm talking about and the people who actually do enjoy going to Cracker Barrel, they don't help, or it is not helped. The situation is not helped whenever you actually take a look at the CEO of Cracker Barrel, the younger white woman with glasses, okay? Granted, she does still have the more-ish, I mean, some of these photos, tan skin and blonde hair, okay? Fits a little bit with, like, the aesthetic of the type of people who would go here. But a lot of people online are being like, oh, of course, the liberal woman would do this. Of course, the liberal woman would make these changes. And it does not help at all that the redesign to Cracker Barrel removes the cracker and the barrel from the logo. I can't imagine the way that the people think, like, if there is, this group of people who do land on the right, who would be like, oh, this liberal CEO is ruining our good store, our good restaurant. And she goes and removes the cracker and the barrel from the logo. The restaurant is full of white people. I can guarantee you, Cracker Barrel is full of white people who go there to eat. Removing the white person from the logo, the old white person from the logo, has to be such a massive slap in the face. Opening Cracker Barrel up to a wider range of clientele, as they are trying to do with this change, I don't think it will ever work because Cracker Barrel has been cemented as, this outlook. These are where the racists go to eat. These are where the old people go to eat. Cracker Barrel just is the old place. I don't think you can refresh Cracker Barrel to make it that way unless somehow you make like grade A top-notch food, which I don't think will ever happen to like a restaurant chain. Just have the best food known to man. After hearing that Cracker Barrel was going through a redesign, not once did it even hit my mind for a millisecond. I think I might want to go here. I think I might want to check it out. I genuinely do not care. Because Cracker Barrel is and always will be what it has been in my mind. And I'm not going there because I'm like not a racist. And I'm not going there because I don't want to eat with racists. I just have no desire. Cracker Barrel just has no appeal. And there is no amount of changing that they can make to Cracker Barrel to retain their old audience, the people who are still going there and are keeping them afloat, and also change it to make it so that everyone else will want to come too. They just need to make a new restaurant. They need Cracker Barrel 2, except they don't call it Cracker Barrel. They call it like the Whitewater Rapids or something. Some super like soft white gentrified name. Honestly, not even that. Having the word white in the name might be a little bit too far if it's connected to Cracker Barrel. Just call it water. Just call it water at that point. So anyways, after the change and after all the backlash, Cracker Barrel shed almost $100 million in market value after its stock just plunged after the release of the new logo, which you would think that the CEO and all the people who made this decision would go, okay, we need to switch it up. We need to change it up again. But it wasn't for a couple days after that. They stayed on social media saying, this is great. Our people love this, okay? We're hearing so much positive feedback. I don't know who from. Positive feedback being like strictly the people who are working there. Like let me see if I can find this.
Coming at you hard enough about the look of the restaurant and they want to go back to the old way. Would you do it?
Honestly, the feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like what we're doing. I'll give you another soundbite. I actually happened to be in Orlando last week with all of our managers. We bring them together and every other year. And the number one question that I got asked, Michael, was, how can I get a remodel? When can I get a remodel? How do I get on the list?
Oh, really?
So because the feedback and the buzz is so good, not only from our customers, but from our team members. They want to work in a wonderful restaurant. So
who is giving this feedback? Which managers, which workers? Because if that's the only feedback you're getting, right, only from the managers and the workers who want to remodel the building, surely they're going to be disconnected from the average clientele. I just don't understand. I don't understand it. It seems that she's just like only talking to the people that she sees like in person on a day-to-day basis, like the people who are she's working with, or the people who are working there, and then like the information gets fed to her somehow, and is just completely blind to the entire customer base on social media, or like with the stock numbers. Like I just imagine she just doesn't check the stocks at all after these decisions. But anyways, after a whole lot of backlash from the community, after losing $100 million in market cap value, and finally, to put the nail in the coffin, on Tuesday, Cracker Barrel decided to scrap the new logo entirely and keep the original design. Quote, "We thank our guests for sharing your voices and love for Cracker Barrel," the company announced on social media. "We said we would listen, and we have. Our new logo is going away and our old timer will remain." The decision came after President Trump on Tuesday publicly urged the company to ditch the new logo. Cracker Barrel should go back to the old logo, admit a mistake based on customer response, the ultimate poll, and manage the company better than ever before, Mr. Trump wrote on Truth Social. I'm not going to say that it took the President of the United States to push them to change their logo and undo the redesign. That feels like such a stretch to believe. But the decision came right after the President of the United States urged them to do it. I don't know if they have some kind of like connection to government grants or something like that. Like the what's the one stadium? Yeah, like how Trump is urging the Commanders to change their name back to the Redskins. I don't know why. I don't know why they folded. Surely this is not why they folded. I cannot imagine that this is why they folded. But I just found it hilarious that after President Trump told them to change their name is when it happened. I'm so surprised that they actually folded. Generally, in redesigns like this, it costs so much money to undergo all the design and all the planning and all the marketing to actually make these changes. Generally, companies don't walk back on their decisions to redesign. I'm quite surprised that they actually went ahead and listened to everyone and stopped. Not like it matters to me at all, though. I never do plan on going to Cracker Barrel. Actually, now that they've said they're not going to do the redesign, I actually am slightly more tempted to maybe give it a try than I was, a couple months before all this backlash. Maybe I feel like I want to give it a try. Will I? I don't know. I have had like a $100 gift card to Cracker Barrel sitting in my car for I think 5 years now. I have had no desire to touch that thing. It has just been living there forever. Surely it'll expire someday and all the money on it will go away. I imagine it has been now. But I have had several free Cracker Barrel meals sitting in my car for the longest time now. I just never used them because I just didn't want to. Anyways, that's all I have to say. I'm leaving now. Bye.